AITA for cutting up a task book my girlfriend made because I found it insulting. I, 27M, dated my girlfriend, 26F, for almost 3 years before we moved in together a few months ago. We have been fighting about chores the whole time so far. While things were great before, it first started when she'd interrupt me and make requests for what I could do to help her that day. Okay, no problem, I can help. I did dishes and took out the garbage and stuff. I'm not a slacker. Eventually I was mad at her interrupting me so much in the day and we fought. So her solution the next day was make a list of chores pinned inside the closet, and she said whenever I can help just check the list and do anything on it. I already felt then I was treading on over-controlling roommate territory, but she can be very fussy and likes stuff tidier than me, and I didn't want a fight, so I agreed, even though she asked for minimum 1 chore a day as if I'm an employee and this isn't my home as well to relax after work. After a few weeks she was still coming to tell me how I do chores wrong and making more requests. I said I don't like being interrupted for chores all day and it's bad for my mental health, and she said she doesn't like living in a dirty apartment for her mental health. It isn't dirty, just not flawless. Which also annoyed me because it's our home and she insulted it, and we fought about that as well. She ended up printing out a whole fucking book. It has sections with sticky tabs and extremely overly specific instructions like if you clean the toilet use X products, we keep paper towels under the sink and cleaning stuff on the first shelf in the pantry, and make sure you scrub under the bowl with the brush and flush afterwards and check the floor for whatever. Make sure you use disposable cloths, and just that for literally pages of step-by-step instructions. She said use this book when you have time for chores and I won't come bother you. Obviously it was insulting because she gave me this stupid manual that she clearly spent time in writing. She doesn't need it, but I do apparently, and it treats me like a little child or idiot who can't do anything without hand-holding or lectures. I thought I was moving in with a GF, not a manager. In the moment I just cut it up with scissors and threw it in the trash. So after that we fought again. She thinks I'm being unreasonable and I think she's being a micromanager. I think we have problems, but it isn't the chores. Was I an off for ruining her work in this situation, when I literally never even asked for that project she chose to do? Edit. I came back to a ton of comments and lots of different opinions. Thanks for all the replies and DMs. I'm trying to read and respond to as many as I can, but probably won't get to them all anytime soon. Oh, I thought they meant that he is overly critical and controlling, but I think you're right. Wow. Yeah, number. Expecting your so to also do some house chores, 1 a day. Comma, is not overly critical or controlling. The list was just because he went off about her interrupting him, and the instructions were because he, most likely purposefully, did a crap job. He was hoping she'd just leave him be and do everything herself. What an awe. I hope she dumps him fast. Up, Tay. Even his edit saying that he's getting a lot of different opinions and he won't get a chance to get to them all. Lol. He can't even complete this task. And what false reality is he living in? What differing opinions is he speaking of? As far as I could read, it's overwhelmingly pointing to AITA guy. But he can't even admit to that truth, so I'm guessing he's twisting everything in his explanation and is actually super dirty and gross. Doesn't clean at all, and his poor GF is just trying to get him to do the bare minimum. Hope she sees this thread and seriously considers a breakup. This guy is super disrespectful of her time and energy, and she has clearly approached this whole situation with the patience of a goddamn saint. I'll say that as someone who was abused by an overly critical and controlling ex-partner over chores. I would have been incredibly shocked to receive a thoroughly written guidebook to doing those chores. Obviously not all abusers take the same tactics, but it's a lot more easy to maintain abusive levels of control if you never actually explain how to do something correctly. Just criticize how it was done as wrong. I still have no idea what I was supposedly doing wrong with dishes, even after 15 years since the first criticism. How to next like that? Apparently I had to clean his apartment, which I didn't live in. I just went to visit, in a specific way and use a specific amount of cleaning products because I didn't pay for them. Problem was, he never clarified which way he wanted things cleaned, the exact amount of cleaning product, or even where some of those cleaning products were in his house. He stored some in the warehouse and I didn't have access there. He only yelled at my mistakes, telling me that as a woman I should have known this stuff. Detailed description instructions would definitely have made it easier. Also, why are you helping? This is a shared living space, correct? While being interrupted to do chores can feel parental, maybe the helping mentality isn't doing you any good. My husband doesn't help me as an equal partner in keeping our home clean. He does about as much as I do. My work hours are a bit better, so I do a few extra chores so we can relax together. But I'd be furious if he saw it as helping me. I'm not a housewife, or your mom, or your maid. I'm furious just thinking about it. Participant 2, seriously, she does sound rather particular. But it also sounds like you resent having to help whatsoever. Frankly, you should have had an adult conversation. I double-checked her and it seems you are, in fact, both adults, about how she wanted the chores handled, where compromises could be made, and if a schedule could be worked out. Instead, you continued to blow off her concerns, so she takes matters into her own hands and tries to help. And you literally destroy her efforts. You say you don't want to be treated like a child. But who would rip up a book like that? That's right, a child. Don't wanna be treated like a child. Don't act like one. If you move in with someone, chores are something you'll need to deal with in an adult manner. She's not treating you like she's your manager. She's trying to treat you like you're an equal partner with equal responsibilities. And it sounds like your way of cleaning may not be up to snuff. I know my dad learned a lot about cleaning when he moved in with my mom. What you used to get by with may not be enough, and you may need to step it up. Look, I get it, I hate cleaning. It sucks. But I literally had my mom help me put together a book like the one you destroyed to make sure I could do it right and get it over with. Stop acting like a petulant child and have a real conversation with your GF, if you still have one after all this, about how you're going to handle cleaning from now on. If you clean the toilet, use X products. We keep paper towels under the sink and cleaning stuff on the first shelf in the pantry, and greater than make sure you scrub under the bowl with the brush and flush afterwards and check the floor for whatever. Make sure you use disposable cloths. I don't think this is particular at all. If Op's not doing super basic stuff like using a brush when he cleans a toilet, then he's not cleaning a toilet. I had to explain to a BF that toilet bowl cleaner was not meant to clean the entire toilet and that he shouldn't use a toilet brush on one toilet then walk around with it wet and dripping to another clean the next toilet. ETA. He at least had the decency to accept my explanation and change his methods without calling me a nag or whining that I treat him like a child. Cough. My current theory is that his mom is just absolute dogshit at cleaning and his dad doesn't lift a finger for anything domestic, so he didn't have the best cleaning role models until college. If I could broadcast this from the world, if a 15-year-old is schooling an adult on basic hygiene, then that adult needs to look in the mirror about just how real-world adjusted he is, because this is something normal people can understand. Tay and Lamel so hard on these comments. Asshole enthusiast 8. I read it as he wasn't scrubbing under the lip of the bowl, not that he wasn't using a brush at all. Skipping the hard OC crud is definitely a move people pull when they're doing the chore in name but don't care about the cleanliness. Seemed more believable here. Same thing for using the right product. Most people keep a lot of cleaners together. He could have used the shower stuff in the toilet rather than no cleaner at all. This is me. When I do a quick cleanup, I don't really get in the nooks and crannies, and, as I found this week while making a point of actually cleaning, it's just made my job 1000x more difficult. If I had spent the extra 2 minutes to do it as I was doing the visible area cleaning, I wouldn't be spending 20 minutes now just scrubbing floor tiles. I've learned my lesson, hopefully, and I get the feeling that that's how Op was, except instead of making more work for himself later, he's making more work for GF. Also, I like the list. I'm totally making one so husband and I can try to do better. Depression brain makes keeping things clean hard. My home might make a great case study in it. Maybe, but it's usually pretty obvious when people are half-assing it. I once lived in a flat share with 3 people and we had a cleaning rota. It never seemed to get quite as clean on the weeks one particular girl was supposed to do it. Yet whenever we brought it up she always assured us she was doing it properly. Then once I happened to come in the kitchen while she was cleaning and she made this big show of not being able to find the cleaning spray and asking if we were out. I opened the cupboard and was like, no. It's here, where we always keep it and have done for the last 6 months. It was obvious she never used any products and basically just gave the counters a quick wipe and called it done. We also discovered she only hoovered the middle of the floor, never under things like the table or in any corners or along walls, just dragged it around a bit in the middle. And she was the one who was always talking about how clean and neat she was, and would instantly go off on anyone who dared leave an unwashed bowl in the sink. AITA, my ex and I constantly fought about chores. Whatever he did was half-assed and I had to redo it. When I tried talking to him he just dismissed me as a clean freak and that if I wanted that clean I need to take care of it. I stopped cleaning and he soon began questioning me and why he has me. Knew then and there it's not gonna work out. I hate cleaning too. But I love to be in a clean house. Up is just putting all work on girlfriend and just have time for him. Well, guess what? Your girlfriend also wants some downtime and you are chipping at her time, because you are acting like a child. I hate people like Up because my ex made me do 80% of all chores. Then he wondered why I'm always tired and don't want to spend time with him. How on earth do you think I can manage to do everything and still have energy, time and not be annoyed by the fact that you sat on your shitter 80%. Sorry about the rant, since my ex this became one of my peeves. Honestly, this is just typical patriarchy. Men have always had it all their way, and if a woman tries to achieve an equal workload in the partnership, she's mental, interfering, nagging, etc. The reality is that chores suck, and they don't want to do it. Women don't usually enjoy doing chores either, but we're mature enough to know that you have to grit your teeth and get on with it, because it needs to be done. It's my observation that even men who claim to be for equality, and who elicit praise for helping their partner at home are still sexist deep down. They might believe that they are treating women equally, but they have usually grown up being catered to by their mom, grandma, etc. They hold a subconscious belief that the household chores, childcare and so on are the woman's domain, and he is fabulous if he helps out a bit. I also believe that many men have learned that they can get away with not doing the chores if they either keep saying later, or stop nagging, or they grudgingly do the chores in a half-assed way because they know that their partner will get fed up with their incompetence around the house and do it herself. I put the idea of men deliberately doing housework badly, to avoid it in future, to several men in my friend and family circle. I made up my mind about this guy when he said he didn't mind helping. It's clear to me he's decided that housework is not his responsibility, but he'll begrudgingly and graciously help with one job a day. He's not ready to take care of himself, and really wants to be taken care of. To be fair, he has much lower cleaning standards than his partner, which is something they need to work out. But his attitude sounds juvenile to me. I stopped cleaning and he soon began questioning me and why he has me. Wow, he went full mask off. What a fucking asshole. Reminds me of one time when my sister was about to go back to work after 5 years long maternity leave and her husband had the audacity to complain that house is gonna look like pigsty again. Now my sis is considering hiring a cleaning services in secret rather than confronting her husband about his lack of effort. Why do men? Participant 1. Another telling use of language is how he constantly says she interrupts him, which implies he's doing something focused, without her, during most of his free time. I'm sure she's thrilled to not only be doing all the chores, but for her mere presence to be an interruption. I wonder what he's focusing so hard on. I'm gonna go with video games. As soon as I saw that he thinks taking out the garbage and doing dishes is a fair share, I had a feeling he would be duh. There is so much more that goes into running a house. His GF obviously thought she would be getting an equal partner, not a child she needed to babysit to get half the chores done. She tries to teach him and can't seem to win no matter what. I think he's just looking for any excuse to keep doing the bare minimum. BTW. A lot of couples use chore charts to help divide housework. It's all about fairness and making sure both people contribute equally. You need to get over this because very few women, except maybe your mom, will put up with a boyfriend who doesn't help out around the house. The fact that she felt the need to explain how to clean a toilet proves you've got a long way to go. Apologize to your GF and make an effort to start doing at least half the chores. One a day is a very reasonable ask. And he uses the word help. As he helps her to clean their home, he thinks he is helping her when doing any little thing in their home. He is a slacker. Op should not help her. He should split the chores with her, as it is as much as his duty to clean that it is her. Op, you are massively, and everything else stinks. Op thought he was leaving with a maid, not a GF. It is his home to relax after work. Well, it is his home to clean too. I just hope she will break up with him. This is a red flag for her. She needs to leave him for her sake. Op will not change. He will just think of her as a maid, and he should just relax when she cleans everything. Sorry, he takes out the trashes. What a helper. This post is like slacker boyfriend bingo. Frames chores as helping her. She'd make requests. Girlfriend has the mental load and has to tell him what to do. Lists taking out the garbage and weekly chores as evidence that he helps. Says it's because the GF likes stuff tidier than he does. Thinks that one chore a day is an unfair amount of work for him. Defends himself by saying he needs to relax after work. As if his GF doesn't. Does chores badly when forced to do them. Doesn't want to be told what to do, but when GF proposes alternatives like the list or the book, doesn't want that either. Has to be told all instructions in excruciating detail, like being told where the paper towels are. Except this post even has an extra rotten cherry on top, lashes out by destroying something that belongs to her. I'd actually say that cutting the book up with scissors is an implicit threat. If you cross me, I get destructive. Hopping on top comment to add his GF's mental health is like being affected by moving in with someone who sees housework as an option, and then claims he's done it when he hasn't. She's taken a massive step down in her standard of living, and her BF is bitching to the point she'll be forced to move out, or more likely, take on all the hard work whilst being grateful for his meager contributions. It's like the old "I've cleaned the bathroom" which just involved dumping a bottle of bleach down the loo. No. You need to do the bath, sink, toilet, mirror and hoover and mop. Otherwise you most certainly did not clean the bathroom, if there is beard hair everywhere, not cleaned. Tay. Also, minimum one chore a day. I dream of only doing one chore a day. That would be bliss. I'm far from a clean freak, and have husband that is great with the division of labor in our house. Every day someone still needs to cook dinner, clean up after dinner, do laundry, dishes, clean floors, tidy up stuff on the bench top/lounge room/dining table, feed pets, etc. On top of that, there's also the routine chores that need to happen regularly, such as deep cleaning the bathroom, mopping floors, changing sheets on the bed, yard work, grocery shopping, vacuuming, etc. I would be delighted if I only had to do one of these a day. Tay, after you made it sound like doing one chore a day is something an employee would do in his own home, I made up my mind. First you say that you aren't a slacker and then you say, doing one chore a day isn't okay because you want to relax in your own home. Makes me wondering how you did the chores. So either you meant that differently, I understood it wrong, or you aren't doing chores and your soul was put of ideas to make you do them properly, so she made you an instruction book. Participant 4. Tay, you refer to doing chores as helping her when in fact you have equal responsibility to do them, and they are not chores. They are part of being a responsible adult and maintaining your home. She is not a maid, so unless you agreed a non-equal split when you moved in, I guess you work longer hours and pay more rent so she does more housework, then you need to step up and do your fair share. She has suggested ways to manage the split of work, and instead of discussing it, you throw tantrums like a child. So yes, this then pushed her more to mother you. A natural response to your behavior, but an unhealthy dynamic for a relationship. Moving in together is when you really find out if you are compatible. You both need to sit down together, calmly, and figure this out, or else go your separate ways. Your call, but for both your sakes, figure this out sooner rather than later.